Hey, good morning, Facebook family. Hope you're doing all right this morning. You rested well last night, maybe. Despite all circumstances, you're resting well. And I want to give you a bit of encouragement this morning as well. You can see I'm barricaded from getting to my beach, and if you know me at all, I love the beach, but I wanted to just, give you a little sunshine, a little light, and shine on you and give you some inspiration, some hope this morning. And I want to talk about not being afraid, because I think while there's all different levels of fear, I want to just share with you something that's really inspirational to me about fear and not being afraid. And while I wait for maybe one or two, check out the beautiful sunrise. There's one thing that we can hope for is another day that God's light will shine on us, that'll give us that hope. Something in my reading this morning, I got up early. I'm an early bird. I get up about 4:30, 4:45. I would say I was definitely distracted. In fact, I've been distracted a bit in the last couple weeks, just like we all are, trying to guard our hearts, trying to guard our minds. And in this time, I posted a bold phrase, and it's "do not be afraid." And you're like, four words, do not be afraid. And I want to share with you something, whether you have a strong faith background or not, something I didn't know. I actually remember hearing about it, so I actually looked it up this morning. And unless I'm mistaken, from what I looked in the Bible, actually it says do not be afraid 365 times. So check this out. It says, do not be afraid over 365 times mentioned in the Bible, to some extent, right? Never fear, don't fear, trust in the Lord, all those types of things. But specifically, do not be afraid. So if you can just think of this today, being whatever day in March it is, being Thursday, and whatever day of quarantine you're in, is that rest assured, 365 times in the Bible. Think of every single day you can look and realize that there's a loving God who's telling you to do not be afraid. Because I can tell you, if you've lived on this earth at all, I don't even care if you're young, and chances are there was things that you were afraid of. I know for sure I was. There's lots of times in my life, and I've shared a number of them, from having a parent with mental disability, on the verge of suicide, to having a child who is sick and having four major surgeries, and completely afraid, completely fearful, having a business that I put my heart, sweat, and really pretty much my entire life in, to watch it pretty much fail to the point where I had to sell it, had to get out, to being in 9/11 and watching one of the towers come down with my very eyes at the top of, I was away from it, but actually seeing that unravel, living in New York City and going through that, the fear was overwhelming. And I'll tell you what, in a lot of those moments, I didn't have faith in my life at that time. I didn't know about God telling us to not be afraid over 365 times in the Bible. But I just want to reassure you and give you this encouragement, is that while maybe fear is there and it's, it may be overwhelming right now, is to not be afraid. Go into the day. It doesn't mean that you have to have all the answers. It doesn't mean that you maybe are not worried about a job that you just lost, or maybe a family member who is at risk, right? Those are all legit things. But I just want to share with you how the fear can be completely crippling. In fact, fear can be one of the worst things that can happen out of this. If you allow fear to take over your life, fear can be more disabling than any kind of virus, that's something I think it's maybe something that's reassuring to me, is that if I can hand my fear over, if I can cast my anxieties and my fear over to the Lord, is that it allows me to focus on what I need to focus on. Because if we focus on fear, now it's not to say that I don't have a little fear, because I don't know what's going to bring, but I can allow that to run my life, or I can allow that to be taken by God. And I would say if it's good enough to be in the Bible, if you believe in the Bible, if you have faith and believe in what's the truth of the Bible, then it's probably a reassurance to know if it's stated 365 times. Maybe it's one for every single day, because I'm sure, at least I do, there's something I'm probably have fear of every single day that I get up. Fear that I'm going to be a good enough parent. Fear that I'm going to, be able to provide for my family. Fear that my health is going to be okay, right? Those are all things, even before any of this virus and craziness going on, is that alone is something that's just hard to deal with, right? So if I can just be of any encouragement to you this morning, is to just, look at the sun. Even if you don't have a sunrise, maybe you're hanging out in your living room, in your bed, maybe you're getting up and you're catching this later on the replay, is maybe all you need to see is a sunrise, and to know that if God's good enough to bring us another day of sunshine and hope, is that can take away the fear. Here's a thing that's pretty cool about sunlight, and I don't know if you heard this, and I had I think it was a pastor said, and I maybe have heard it, maybe you've heard it before, is, the cool thing about light that shines is that you can get in the darkest room, and if you have light, it's going to outshine the darkness. So if you're feeling like you're in a dark spot right now, if you're feeling afraid of what's next, oh my gosh, I don't know when my kids are going to go back to school. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my rent or pay my mortgage. I don't know, if this world is coming to an end, right? You've heard that. I hear it. I would say is two things. Try and guard your heart. Guard your heart, knowing that light is going to shine through this. And you're going to I'm going to rest assured, and honestly, if you can put the hope in me, because I believe that you're going to come out better, you're going to come out stronger, you're going to come out, maybe if you don't even have any faith, maybe this is the moment that God's been pushing on you to draw your attention to Him, draw your attention to the light that shines through Him, or maybe somebody else. See, I was encouraged last night. Had our worship pastor came on and did a live, and it was so encouraging, and just to be able to hear worship live and allow technology to be, even though it's typically in person, right? And maybe a lot of your relationships are put on hold, and now they're required by Zoom and video and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like my world. That's what I'm in. But I was saying is maybe you're struggling with that face-to-face interaction, where it's like you can give somebody a hug, you can give somebody a kiss, you can give somebody a handshake, and you don't have that right now. And I'll tell you, I was really inspired last night to be able to know that there's a movement going on right now. There's light being shined in dark places right now. And you can hide in the closet and not allow that light to shine through. Or what you can do is embrace the time that you have now. Embrace the valleys, because I can tell you firsthand, for me, it's in the valleys that I became stronger. Now, I didn't like the valleys. I didn't like the struggles. I didn't like when my mom was going through mental health. I didn't like when my son was sick, and needing 4 surgeries in the matter of 2 years. I didn't like that he had to go under general anesthesia. I didn't like that my gym was failing and I had to sell and get out. I didn't like those things. They were valleys. In fact, they were deep, deep valleys. Felt like I was in the Grand Canyon and I didn't have any way to climb out. But I can tell you, is looking back at that now, looking back at those struggles, it's helped define who I am. Honestly, I feel it's a big part of maybe why the stress isn't so high in my life right now. Because what I'm doing is, instead of allowing that to fester and instead of that settling in on me, I'm allowing God to take it. I'm casting that on Him. Now, it doesn't mean I'm being ignorant or just allowing, my just separation from media and those things, just say, hey, you don't know what's going on in the world. No, I choose to allow only certain things to come into this space. And one of the things that I want to fill it with is not just the sunshine in the morning at the beach where I can't get down if you see I'm blocked off, but it's in knowing that God has a bigger plan for this. You see, He's never going to waste a hurt. He's never going to waste something. And I don't have all the answers. I don't know why people get sick. I don't know why there's a virus going around. I don't know if it's a big conspiracy. There's a lot of things I don't know, but I can tell you this. that there isn't anything in my life in the past, now looking back, that God has not used on purpose to help define me. And you know what the big defining moment is? It's drawing me closer to Him. That's the difference. So in this bit of encouragement, in fact, I actually was considering, and if you like this, please share this with somebody. The only thing I ask, and I've been saying this a lot lately, is if I'm giving you any bit of encouragement, if there's something, maybe a friend or a family member who you know is struggling right now, is having a hard time, please share it with them. Again, I'm not a pastor or theologian. I just am a dad. I got a dog here that I'm walking. He needs a walk. I'm being socially distanced. You see, there's really nobody around me. I'm keeping my social distance. And there's somebody with a bike. I'll keep away from them. But I just want you to know that the only reason why I'm sharing this, there's nothing in this for me. The only thing that's in this for me is that I understand God does not want me to keep what I know about Him to myself. And if you're a Christian and you're listening to this, maybe I'll give you that challenge to help draw your attention away from maybe that fear, to do not be, so you're not afraid, is to share maybe the light that maybe somebody didn't see in a sunrise today that you have in your life. Maybe share your testimony, maybe share some of your experiences that you've had, some of those moments that sucked, because I'll tell you what, this freaking sucks. I want to go to the beach. I want to walk my dog. I want my kids back in school. Do you want your kids back in school? Sure, I don't want them sitting around, although my son's making money. He's making money online. That's being resourceful, right? I'll tell you what, maybe he's learning from Pops over here doing some online work. So I would say use this as an opportunity. If you have your schedule's all out of whack, maybe this is the perfect opportunity to get yourself in order. Maybe it's a chance for you to get your health on the right track. Now you have more time. You're like, well, Mark, I'm stuck in the house. That doesn't mean you can't think about making yourself a healthy meal or getting in some exercise. I proved it to you in the last couple of days. You can work out anywhere. That's the beautiful thing. You don't need to be at the beach or the gym. So listen, do not be afraid. And remember, 365 times in the Bible, I bet you there's even more instances in the Bible. Any pastors out there, maybe you can help me verify. But if that's one enough for each day, so going forward, think, you know what? There's another day. I'm going to look for that where it says, do not be afraid. Well, do not be afraid. Can I just encourage you? Do not be afraid. Go live your day today. Have a little bit of fear is not necessarily a bad thing, but if you allow fear to take over your life, you're doing yourself a disservice, because we're all going to get through this. We're all going to improve our abilities to cope with things like this, because reality, stuff like this is going to come. If not this, something else will. So I would challenge you now to, if you're in fear, is to do something about it. Be resourceful. Get yourself some sunlight. Get around people who are encouraging to you. All right, that's all I got. Take care. Hey, Coach Mark here. I'm the creator of the Lean Body Breakthrough. I help moms and dads over 40. It's not just a physical transformation thing. If you haven't noticed, I'm a bit passionate about my faith. And I'll tell you what, if it weren't for my faith, I don't even know if I'd be here right now. So have a beautiful, blessed day. Take care. We'll see you.